ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, class.
Ma'am, recording has.
Yes, child, I understood. Has the recording started?
Yes, ma'am. Now it is started.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It is started.
So, my lovely class, this is the second time we are meeting. So, let us quickly continue from where we left. The art of the Paleolithic man. Now, in the free time, man used to sit, early man used to sit, and in those times, they didn't have the colors and pencils and crayons and paper. They used to do that on the cave walls and the ceilings. So the caves where they lived, they just decorated those walls with the hunting scenes, etc. And the examples have been given. Various designs and beautiful animal hunting scenes have been depicted in the places like, please underline that, Altamaria in Spain. Now, this is a place in Spain where designs and paintings have been found in the caves of Altamaria in Spain and Lusac in France. Now, these are the two places outside India where they have given the example that the cave paintings and drawings could be seen there. Then, apart from that, they tell us that these cave paintings they basically drew in their free time where they depicted the hunting scenes. And the people believe, the early man believed that if they drew these hunting scenes, it will be giving them magical powers so that it will help them in their next hunting. It will help them when they'll go and hunt another animal next time. So they drew these, then they also made beautiful ornaments. What are ornaments? It's the jewelry they wore. The jewelry was made of ivory, bones, beautiful stones, etc. Then, in the end, the last paragraph, they talk of the Bhimbetka caves in Madhya Pradesh. Now, these Bhimbetka caves are in Madhya Pradesh, and Madhya Pradesh is in India. So, they have given you one example from India also, where they have seen the historians and the archaeologists have uh, been able to decipher the paintings and drawings made by these early people of the Paleolithic man. Now, the art and designs, art and paintings, they tell us that the man in his free time, he showed his interest in that, and he had a great bent for drawing and painting. The next heading that we take up is the religious beliefs of the Paleolithic man. Now, in those times, there were no proper religions, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, all this religion was not there, but then they had their religion. And what was it? Let's see. It was after hundreds of thousands of years that the Paleolithic man developed certain religious beliefs. Some of those beliefs are given as under. According to them, the beliefs were it was not that they were following any particular religion or something, but they had certain beliefs जिसको वो मानते थे. And one among them was he worshipped his ancestors after their death. That means whatever their forefathers, whoever their forefathers were, once they died, they even worshipped them. And if you know, don't we worship our parents? Don't we give regards to our parents? In the same way, these early men, they didn't know about any god and goddess in the very earlier stages, so they just believed and worshipped their ancestors, their forefathers. And the early man feared that otherwise they might get annoyed and hinder his life. And they used to think that if they will not worship them, those earlier forefathers, then they might get angry, annoyed with them, and they might not let them run their life smoothly. And the second thing which tells us about their belief, they believed in magical powers. Now, all of us are very superstitious. At times, when a crow cocks in the on the wall, we say, "अच्छा अच्छा कोई तो guest आने वाला है हमारे यहाँ." Or if a owl hoots or a cat cries, we feel bad, yo, that's a bad way. So in that way only, they also had various magical powers which they believed in, superstitious powers they thought. Then he buried the dead along with his tools and eatables, thinking that he might need them in his journey to the next world. So now the early man also, what they did was when a person died among them, they used to bury him in the soil, and along with him, the dead body, they used to keep his belongings, the tools, the food, and they thought that he might need his all this in his next journey. They did not know the concept of death at that time. Then the Paleolithic man was afraid of lightning and thunder because he had not known what caused them. He thought that they were perhaps expressions of some divine anger. So now, whenever a lightning or a storm or a thunder struck the earth, they used to think that it is some kind of anger. The nature is showing some kind of divine anger. There's some bad omen attached to it. So they never knew the concept, the scientific causes that we know now today. They were scared of the nature's anger, and that is what they followed. That they worshipped rather, they disrupted. Okay, so they worshipped nature because they were scared of it. Let us see this question. What was the nature of the tools that were made in this age? Now, answer. The nature of tools that were made in this age were of two types. First, the core tools. Second, the flake tools. The core tools were made by chipping off pieces from hand-sized pebbles or from stones of flint, whereas flake tools were used like choppers and cleavers, and they were made from the sharp pieces or flakes that broke off while shaping the core tools. There were various tools which were used by early man. They were hand axes, cleavers, choppers, scrapers, arrowhead, budge, etc. This is the answer for this question. Okay, coming to the next one. Discuss the tools of the Stone Age. The tools of the Age were of two types, core and flake tools. And again, you will give the example of hand axe, cleaver, chopper, scraper, arrowhead, budge. But this time, you will also give the details. You will write about the hand axe, you write about the cleaver, the chopper, the scraper, the arrowhead, and the budge. Okay. Next, you need not do these questions just since these questions were there, so I had to answer. So at least you will also know the answer of these questions. Okay, now we talk of the Mesolithic or the Middle Stone Age. At the end of Paleolithic Age, man moved closer to water source like rivers and lakes. He entered the period of Mesolithic Age or Middle Stone Age. This age was a transition period from Paleolithic man. Mostly, the features of the Old Stone Age continued, but there were some new developments. These developments were as under, like domestication of animals, improvement in tools, art of painting, and burial system. Now, they are telling you about Mesolithic age or the Middle Stone Age. That means before this, we were doing Paleolithic, Old Stone Age. Now we come on to Mesolithic age, that is the Middle Stone Age, which comes in between the Paleolithic age and the Neolithic age. Okay, and Paleolithic age से transition होके, transition means बदलाव आते आते, this phase is known as Mesolithic age. Now here the features did not change. ऐसा नहीं है कि stone tools में कुछ बहुत बड़ा बदलाव आ गया, but there were some minute changes which made it different. Now, the some developments which took place were domestication of animals. Now, earlier the man was only hunting. Now he even started domesticating animals. Then there was improvement in tools. The tools were more refined, more sharper, more chopping material was there. Big and small sizes also could be seen. Then art of painting also grew. Okay? And the last is the burial system, the way they buried their ancestors. There were changes, a little changes in that also. Let us see domestication of animals. During Mesolithic Age or Middle Age, man started making simple houses, though most of them still lived in caves and rock shelters. The domestication of animals was started. They domesticated, underlying these animals, dog, goat, sheep, and cattle. Dog could be useful in many ways, especially in chasing and hunting animals. So this is quite easy. All in all, coming on to improvements in tools, Mesolithic man was still a hunter and food gatherer, but now the tools were better and refined, sharply, shapely, and more efficient than the tools of the old Stone Age. I told you there was refinement in the tools. They were more sharper, refiner, better. These tools were smaller in size and they were called microliths. Now, since the tool size grew a little smaller, a little handy, so they were called in the Middle Stone Age or the Mesolithic Age, the tools were called microliths. Why? Because they were not very huge and bulky as the core tools made by the early Paleolithic man. Now they were much smaller in size, they were more handy, though they were heavy, but yet they were very handy. And you can see the example hooks and baits improve fishing. Now, if you have seen in any of the movies, the fishing rod has a hook and a bait is attached to it. That means to grab the fish, there's an attachment. So now they even started using hooks and baits to improve the fishing. See the advancement. They used to make a hook and tie it with a thread or a jute uh, thin coir, and then a bait was attached. That means something to eat was also attached in that hook so that the fish could just get caught in that fishing rod. Then axes were still made of stone, but they now had wooden handles. Now no more hand axes, they had wooden handles now. This made it easy to use the axe. Apart from stone, animal bones and horns were also used for making the tools. In India, microliths have been found in Mysore and in western Narmada region. Underline the area Mysore and western Narmada region where the microlithic tools have been found in India. Before we move on, just let us do quickly the other part. How do we use fire today? Now we use fire for various other purposes. We use it for cooking, for heating. Apart from this, we are using it for burning, for producing thermal energy. Then we also use it for in ovens in the form of electricity. So there are n number of uses. To run our rockets, we need a lot of fire energy. So all this has changed and evolved. Now, question number two. There is almost the same usage of fire with a few differences. What are those differences that we have brought about? Now, definitely, fire still gives us warmth, fire still gives us heat and light. The differences which we have brought is in the field of advancement in the knowledge of our science and technology. We have now used fire not only just for cooking, but we also use it for in our lab experiments, for chemical changes, then for generating lot of heat in our factories. Then we also use it in rockets and other scientific equipments. So we have put fire into use in various other fields. Now, coming to the next part, in what aspect did human society change during the Mesolithic period as compared to Paleolithic period? So, in what aspect did it change? First, we will say that earlier the early humans were just the food gatherers and hunters. Now, in the Mesolithic age, they also domesticated animals and kept them with them. They knew which animals were useful and they also used them by domesticating them. Then, the second comparison is the tools. The Paleolithic man made coal tools which were raw and rough as compared to the tools made in the Mesolithic period, which were much better, refined, and shapely, and were much efficient than the tools used in the stone, old Stone Age. The old Stone Age tools were bigger in size, they were heavier, whereas in the Mesolithic period, the tools were microliths. That means the size of the tools also decreased. They were smaller in size. Then the third thing, the art of painting. The art of painting in the Paleolithic period was crude and was on cave walls. The art in the Mesolithic period was much refined, much better. The use of color could be seen in the Mesolithic age. Then burial system in the Paleolithic period, they buried their ancestors, they even worshipped them, and they considered them that they had a life after death, and so they kept tools and eatables along with them. Whereas in the Neolithic period, they still kept the buried the dead people, they buried them and they gave them offerings such as food, ornaments, etc. Okay, so these were the different changes we saw. Then fact file: Mesolithic, Meso plus Lithic. The meaning of Meso is middle, and the meaning of Lithic, Lith is stone. Now, how was Paleolithic man a great artist? We know that Paleolithic man was a great artist because of the uh, various drawings and rough figures which were drawn on the walls and ceilings of the cave. Various depictions of running wild animals were shown, and the examples are Altamira in Spain and Lussac in France. We also see a few cave paintings in Bhimbetka caves in Madhya Pradesh. Okay, next. In which state is Bhimbetka situated? Bhimbetka is situated in Madhya Pradesh, India. What is the chief feature of Rajgarh painting? For that, you have to look for it, or let us see if we are covered. We will do it. Hmm. No, it is not given here anywhere. Rajgarh paintings. Please look, just look up in the Google and see what is given there. Okay, or if I'll find, if get a chance, I'll do it. Then art of painting. In the beginning of the Mesolithic age, a large number of caves and rocks were painted with, which have been found in India. Red and white were the two main colors which were used on the rocks. These paintings tell us about hunting, fishing, and religious faiths. Please underline the red and white color. It was not that just a white chalk they were rubbing up, or they were drawing with the stone, but they even used colors when the depiction of red color is seen. Have you seen the gardener coloring your pot? Have you seen जो गमलों को रखने के लिए जो कलर यूज होता है? Have you seen that? Please switch off your mic. What that? Who's that? Who's disturbing the class? So the red color, have you seen गमलों को रंगने के लिए गेरुआ रंग यूज होता है? The gardener colors the pot. That color is also seen on the cave painting. Okay. Then burial system. Some human burials of Mesolithic age have been found in Rajasthan and Gujarat. Underline Rajasthan and Gujarat. Here many burials have been found. These show that dead were buried along with the offerings such as food, ornaments, and so on. So there were various ornaments and food which were kept along with them so that they could have it and use it. Now let us see the fact file. The most famous example of realistic cave paintings was found in France at Les in 1940. They were painted about 18,000 years ago using colors made from minerals found in rock. Probably the Peking man was the first to have made regular use of fire. A skull of Paleolithic man was discovered near Peking in 1927 and is known as Peking man. Now, Peking man is nothing but a place called Peking where the first skull of a Paleolithic man was found. Since it was found in Peking, that is why it is called Peking man. Peking is the name of a place. Okay. And in the previous paragraph above, they have told you that a place called Les in France in 1940, there were nearly a lot of caves which had these cave paintings first found in here. Okay, with this we come to an end of this chapter. You are supposed to do the important terms. You are supposed to do everything that I told you, the drawings that I told you. Please see that you make them, finish them, and that next time when we meet, we will be doing the question answers of